Hello, everyone, and welcome to another evening of stamping. My name is Sarah Simon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin. And about 2 minutes before I hit live, I realized I never put eye makeup on today. So if I look different, that's why. I also have a little bit of color from having been on vacation. So let's see here. We've got Melanie and Julie and Mary and Sonia and Becky and Linda and both Karens. Denise was in training for Project Lead the Way. That is mentally challenging training, I've heard. Tammy and Julie, I said Julie already, and Jeanne and Carol, thank you guys all for joining me today, and Sarah. I'm so excited to be back, but let me tell you, 2 weeks is a long time. I did have a wonderful vacation. Work was great. They hardly reached out to me at all. There were just a couple of things that I did work related while I was on vacation, but I pretty much stayed away from work. I did not bring any stamping with me up to the cottage, which that hardly ever happens, that I'm there for 2 weeks and I didn't do any stamping. Well, not complete 2 weeks. It was about 10 days that I was there. And then I had other stuff going on here. So yesterday I did some computer stuff for my business. But then today I came back at it with stamping, and I felt like I talked to somebody from work. He called me about something. He needed my opinion on something. And I said, I've been sitting here in my stamp room for the last 3 hours and I've made one card. It's like I can't remember how to do it. It's so funny. It was so weird. I just sat there going, I thought I'd have all this creative juices going. I'd be so productive today, and I had nothing. So anyway, yeah, Melanie, it's hard to be away, right? When that's just so much of who you are. So I do have our creative challenge winner that we're going to pick today. So I'm going to move my computer. That should work. I'm going to move it somewhere else. I'll move it up there. Okay, so I'm going to read off all the names first. Hello, Patty and Sandy and Diane and Kay. I don't think I said hello to you, and Marg. I'm going to read all the names of the people that I got from Facebook or people emailed me. If I missed you somehow, please let me know. Then I'll give the other prizes away so that'll give people time to the little bit of lag that there is between when I'm saying this and when you're hearing it, and a chance to reply. So I have Jean Maxwell. Put these in here right away. Aileen Humphrey. Make sure they're not stuck together. Sandy Calloway, Julie Grassel, Lori Workman, Tammy Litsky, Dia Splana, Mary Linsmeyer, Becky Weisky, Angelique McClendon, I think that's how you pronounce that, Michelle Jones, Lynn Eben, Amanda Shabo, Linda Kester, Anna Revedue, Mary Van Domelin, Debbie Peters, Kay Van Epren, Kathy Kessler, Sarah New, Melanie Foy, Karen Roofing, and Diane Van Grull. So if I, by chance, missed you somehow and you did not hear your name, make sure you put something in the comments so that I can get you added. Oh, good. I'm glad I pronounced it correct, Angelique. Make sure you put it in the comments, and I will make sure that I get it added. There were so many that's awesome. And you have to go back and you have to look at what everybody submitted because they're pretty cool. So I'm going to share my Happy Mail. I had a lot of Happy Mail sitting in my mailbox when I got home. So this is that fun fold that we did that was part of the creative challenge. This is coming from Michelle Jones. She opened all of it up, and she had won some gems, so she was thanking me for that. Look at this beauty. We're going to use this today. This is from Kathy Miller, and she was thanking me for helping with her stamp sale, but she had it all at her house. I don't know why she was sending me a thank you, but that's how Kathy is. And then I received this from Carolee Crab. Look at this. And this like folds like that. And then there we go. Opens up like that. We have done this fold before. It's a unique fold. So not only do you score here, but then you fold that so that you can open that little bit up. All right. Then I received this beautiful thank you from Debbie Peters. I think she won something as well. Yeah, she won a prize. Look at this beautiful card with that sweet piece. See, I have this stamp set. I was going to use this stamp set this week, but then nothing was coming to me, and so I went with something else. This is from Kathy Kessler, and I love it. You make me happy, and she won a stamp set. And then this thank you, you remember, this is from Becky Weisky, who I saw on here. Look at how beautiful that is. So thank you all so much. Some of it I received right before I left because I think I forgot to do Happy Mail last week. And then the rest was when I got home. I don't see anybody else who has listed. So I'm going to give you just a little bit more time. I'll give my prizes away. Here's my list. Okay. So for commenting, so 2 weeks ago, we made this card with the iconic celebrations, and we made this card with the season of green and gold, and receiving these for commenting. So anytime you put a comment in, whether it's here live or if you're watching the replay, or if you do it on Facebook because you can't figure out how to comment on YouTube, I totally get it. You have to actually have an account and signed in to do that. Is Elsa Aguirre, Aguirre from Greenville. So I do have your address, Elsa, so I will get these in the mail to you. And then for sharing. So anytime you share my video, whether it's you email it to someone, you put it on your Facebook page, please indicate in the comments that you shared. Like you see a lot of people are doing right now, because you also get entered into a drawing for that and receiving a brand new Wink of Stella, which these were on back order for a little while, is Tammy Litsky. So Tammy, I will be getting that off in the mail to you. And thank you for everyone who shared, but thank you for sharing. The copper and gold accents are so pretty. Yes, they are. Okay, let's pick our challenge winner. I don't think I had anybody else. Okay. Let's see. My internet is going in and out. Oh, I'm sorry, Joan. Is anyone else having problems? I'm okay on my iPad, so I think I'm okay. All right, let me go ahead and mix these all up and make sure they're all in here. And the winner is, let me pick the person, Jean Maxwell. So Jean, I am not sure if I have your address. I will look it up. I think I do, but you should send me a private message with the bundle of your choice that you would like for participating and winning our creative challenge. It has to be any bundle that's active right now. So the online exclusives or in the catalog. And then I will get that sent off to you once I have your address. So congratulations, Jean. I don't remember if I saw Jean jump in here yet today or not, but anyway, Jean, if we see her jump on later, we'll have to let her know that she won. All right. Thanks for participating, Julie. I'm happy to have it. I'm going to try to do that once a month. I think people have fun doing that. So I wanted to remind you, today is the very last day that you can sign up for my class to go. And that class is the season of green and gold. So it is some vellum paper, some designer paper, 2 bundles, ribbon, and some gems, some cherry cobbler and pearl color. They're called berries. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this for right now. I think I'm going to switch my cameras and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that is included in that. All right, let's go ahead, pull some of this stuff out. So option one is $155. And I know that sounds like a lot. Oh, good. Thank you, Jean. Good. I'm glad. Congratulations. So option one, you get a half a pack of the vellum. So you get one of each of the 3 sheets, and you get a half a pack of the DSP, which is all of these 6 sheets where one side has gold in it. Ooh, can you see that shimmer? The other side is more muted. Okay, so you get 6 sheets of that. You get this bundle, the Golden Greenery, so the stamp set and the dies, and the stamp set with the greetings of the season, and all of these wonderful tag dies. You do get a pack of these, and we throw the ribbon in. Kathy and I are doing this together. We throw the ribbon in for free in this one. Now you might see, well, $155, that's a lot of money. If you were to buy this online, it sells for $153.25. But then by the time you add tax and shipping onto that, it comes to like $178. So you're getting it. We took out, instead of a full pack, you're getting a half a pack of the paper. And then you will also get all of the cardstock cut for 5 cards. And some of them are fun folds, and a gift card holder. And you get a PDF that tells you how to put these together. And you get access to, it's a private video that you will get a link to be able to go and watch and see how to put them all together as well. So in the PDF, it has all the dimensions. So you don't have to sit and measure out the stuff that we have cut for you already. You will have the directions so that if you want to make more, you will have that. Most of the colors that we use as far as ink for this are Old Olive, Garden Green, Mossy Meadow, Cherry Cobbler. Those are the colors that are in here, the colors that we use in the papers as well. So that's option one. That's, I got to have everything. Option two, we take these out. Okay, so it's the paper, the ribbon, and the gems. This option is $55. You still get the cardstock cut. Now you might be saying, how am I going to make all the cards? Well, you could pick any greetings. You might have some other Christmas greetings that you could use, so you don't need this. You could use any other dies that you have and not use the tags that we have here, and you could make it with that. You could use other greenery that you have, or any place where we stamped it. You could, instead of die cutting it, you could fussy cut it out of here. So these dies cut all this stuff out, but you could fussy cut it if you want. If you don't want to stamp a bell, you could cut the bells out of here. So if you wanted to do it without the stamp set, you could get the paper, the gems, the ribbon, the PDF, the video for $55. If you're a demonstrator and you don't want to buy from me because you already get your discount, I totally get that. You can just buy the PDF and the video. That's option 3. With any of the options, with option 2 and option 3, you can add things on if you want. So if you want maybe these dies, but you don't want the stamp set and you don't need the greetings, you could add those on. Or maybe you really love these tags, so you want these dies, but you don't need the stamp set, you don't need this other one. You can add things on if you want to, and all of those are there. You can add it on as a bundle. You can add just the stamp set, or you can add just the dies. So there's a lot of different ways that you can combine it. So that is good. Through that sign up, registration is by the end of the night tonight. I think I have it set to go off at like 11:45 or something tonight. And then, yeah, we will get those ordered tomorrow. We will get everything packaged up, and get the PDFs out to you. They will go out no later than August 2nd. And right now, nothing's on back order, so that's really good. All right, let's go ahead and get stamping. So I've got to get, let's see here. All right, our first card, let me get rid of my overhead light. I have less shadows when I do that. Okay, so our first card, we're going to be using this paper that's called Wildly Flowering, which there are some bigger flowers on one side. Gorgeous, right? Absolutely gorgeous. And the colors in here are Misty Moonlight and Moody Mauve and Wild Wheat and Crumb Cake and Early Espresso. And then the other side has some very muted floral images, some things that kind of look like fabric or linen, I guess. So it's a very cool paper. So we're going to be using that. I'm going to be using not the dies that come with this, just the stamp set. And I'm going to go ahead and get you all of our dimensions. I feel like I'm out of sync. I feel like I need to get back into the groove here. All right, so our card base is going to be Crumb Cake for this one. And this is a technique that I learned a very long time ago. And I happened to see a card online. I think while I was on vacation, I saw it and like, I haven't done that in a really long time. So I looked back at how to do it. And it's called a corner fold, where you get to see both sides of the paper by just folding one of the corners of the designer series paper. So this is Crumb Cake. And the mark 2.5 from right side and top, that's going to be on our designer paper. So ignore that for right now. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and you score it at 4.25. Let me fix that. Oh my goodness. See, this is what happens when you can't, you don't finish something until right before, well, not right before. I had like 2 hours. And then I forgot what time I go on. And I said 6:30 instead of 6 o'clock. I'm used to 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. And I guess I just was thinking of that. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4.25 just for a regular card base. And I think I'm freezing up. I don't know why. Okay. So I think I'm back. I think I'm good. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. All right. Then we have 3 pieces that are 4 by 5.25. I have 2 that are basic white, and I have 1 that's the DSP. And this is the one that we're going to measure 2.5 from the right side and 2.5 from the top. And we're going to mark that and we're going to score on this. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm pretty sure I brought, but it probably got buried here somewhere. I'm going to get did have a ruler over here that I purposely brought over so that I could show you how to do this, but I do not see it right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use our scoring tool. Oh, here it is. Oh, right on the top here. So let's get this out of here for a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is from here, I want to go where it's 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to set this up. Oh, and there's a real big glare on that. Let's see if I can get away from that light. Okay. So I'm going to measure 2.5 inches. And I'm sorry about that light. And I'm just going to get a pencil and I'm just going to mark where that 2.5 inches is. So it's right there. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing from the top. I'm going to go down 2.5 inches and I'm just going to mark right there. Okay. So 2.5 is right there and it's right up there. Then I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in. And I'm going to line those 2 marks up in this center track of my paper cutter. Oh, no freezing for you, Betty. That is good because it froze up on my end for a quick second. All right. So there's that little mark that I had. Here's the other mark. I'm going to gently, because designer paper is a little bit thinner than regular cardstock, I'm not going to press this real hard, but I'm just going to lightly go over it and just go over it a couple of times. Right. Then what I want to do is I want to fold that back. Okay, so where my little marks were, you're not even going to see that. All right. Then what I want to do, and I'm going to actually get my bone folder here so I can give that a good burnish. Okay, I'm going to attach that to a piece of basic white that is the exact same size. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of my seal. I have my liquid glue over here too. Sometimes it's just quicker for me to grab the seal. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And actually, I think I'm going to do it laying down here. Okay, so that's just going to go right on the white like that. I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to put those underneath here to flip that back. So I'm just going to put one there and in the corner, and we'll put one over here. I can't remember who I saw this from the very first time that I saw it. Can't remember who I saw it from when I looked at a lot of Pinterest while I was on vacation. And so every once in a while I'd have my iPad out and I was looking through Pinterest. I was looking through watched a couple of videos from people that I normally watch. Okay, I'm going to use some Misty Moonlight ink. Whoops. I love Misty Moonlight. I don't know if you can tell because it's the color that's on my little graphic is Misty Moonlight because I love it so much. And this is the thank you that comes in that stamp set. I'm just going to stand up. I'm going to put that right up in that corner, that little thank you. All right, I'll leave that out and I'm going to grab a scrap here so I can have that underneath. I'm just going to take one of the images from the stamp set and I'm just going to stamp that down in the corner. And I think I'm going to do that to the front of my envelope. And I'm still going to put some paper on the back. Okay, so I can put that be on the front, and I'm still going to put just a little bit of the designer paper on the back. Alrighty, close that up. That's all I have for stamping. Now, you could do some more with this. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it. This is what I decided. I was going to make this first card super simple. Actually, both of my cards are pretty simple today, but I hope that you still find them like, oh, I like how that looks. I could do that pretty easily. Because sometimes when you have paper, it's like, oh, I like both sides of the paper. I don't know which side I want to use. This way you can combine the two of them. And I use this one. When I decided I wanted to use this, I was looking at a whole bunch of different cardstock. And then I came back to this card that I got from Kathy Miller. And I was like, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to get rid of that. All right. So we've got that so far. We're going to go ahead, put this on the inside. So there's lots of room for me to write a message. I could also put some of the designer paper on the inside if I wanted to. I could find a message that I could put as well. It's super easy. And then I wanted to add something to go over this. So I'm using the Spotlight on Nature dies, some of my favorites. Okay, so I'm using the white, and I think I'm just going to put that there. And then I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. So I took, this is the third from the smallest. Okay, so that's this one. And then I decided to take the one that was just one smaller than that. And I took some of the other designer paper that was a little bit muted, and I just cut one of the flowers out of that. Now I put this on here and I'm like, I like that, but I want to bring some of the crumb cake in there. So I took a scrap of crumb cake and my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, which is in the online exclusive. You won't find that in our annual catalog at all. And I cut that out, and it was just a little bit bigger than that circle, and it still showed all of the little embossing that was in the other circle. So I thought that that was perfect. It's exactly kind of the look I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that and attach this. Right, and then this is just going to go, part of it's going to go on here and part of it's going to go down here. So before I put that on, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm just going to lightly go over the outline sort of this flower, the stuff that's a little bit lighter, just to kind of make that pop a little bit more. Okay, so I know that it's hard to see Wink of Stella. Oh, maybe you can see that a little bit, but it just kind of shines on there. And I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to place them like that. And then over in the corner, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue so that it can stick to that top part. Okay, and then I just thought I would get, this is from our Essentials Basic Twine, our Baker's Twine, I should say. It comes in white, very vanilla, a gray color, and then black, and then this crumb cake-ish color. And I think I'm going to wrap this around here a couple of times. And pull that over. This is the 10-second foam maker, which not gonna lie to you, when I tried to look for it for another customer that was having a hard time finding it, it was taking me to some weird site. So I don't know if they're still available or not, but I know if any of you know Kelly Atchison, who's my upline, she has somebody that makes them for her and she sells them for $10, and that includes, I believe, the shipping. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, before I put this on here, I'm going to take my bone folder and just kind of curl the tails of that bow. And I'm going to take a glue dot and just kind of roll it up in my finger. Put these back on here before I lose them. And I'm just going to set that kind of down here on the flower and press the knot into that so that it sticks. And there we have our fold over. Oh, thanks, Jean. Christine Bertram, I guess, also sells the bow makers. And Kathy says she gets the bow jigs from her. She has a guy that makes them. Well, that's good to know, Kathy Miller. Thank you for letting them know that. I didn't know where she got them. I just know she always advertises it on her lives. So, Let's see here. I could put you in touch with Kathy too if Kathy would want to sell it to you. I'm going to just put some of our iridescent pearls here on our card. And look at that. We've got a card done. Okay, so this is the corner fold so that you can see both sides of the designer paper. You could stamp a greeting here. You could just leave that blank if you wanted to and put the greeting somewhere else. But that is my card one. And I do have a little bit of the designer paper here. And so we'll take our envelope that I had stamped a little bit in the front and we'll just add a little bit of seal. And add that to the flap. We can see where the fold is. Goodness gracious. Guess I need liquid glue. There we go. And then we'll just trim off the excess here. Oh, Lila came to life. Can you hear her? She just shook. She was snoozing. We walked first thing this morning. Let me tell you, the humidity finally left here. And this morning, I was actually a little bit chilled until I started sweating a little bit. But when I first started, I'm like, oh, I might have needed a little bit of a jacket here this morning. But it was wonderful. All right, so there is our card number one, a quick and easy little thank you note using some of our beautiful designer paper. I have the one that I saw, if I'm remembering correctly, on Pinterest. It used the Latte Love. And I think instead of having this circle here, they cut out like a one of the coffee mugs and put it there. So there's a lot of different things that you could do. You could put a flower there if you had some sort of a flower. You could put just about anything there. So that is card number one, quick and easy. Let me get rid of all of the stuff that I have here. Set it on the floor on my right side and grab the stuff that's on my left side. All right. This one, we're going to do a technique and a fun fold in it. So the two stamp sets that I'm going to be using for this, I thought this was so cute and I'm like, I can't wait to use this. And so I decided to use the Scenic pumpkin patch today. Didn't have any greetings with it. So I decided I was going to use this Thinking of You in the Simply Said. This is a really inexpensive stamp set and it has so many different, like you could do let's celebrate, birthday wishes, happy birthday, and let's celebrate. I mean, there's just so many ways that you could mix and match some of these. So that's what I'm using for my second card. And let me get you the dimensions. All right, so we're going to start with pecan pie. And this is 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2, and then I cut off 2 1/2 inches. And that 2 1/2 inches that I cut off is right there. Okay, so that is part of it. And then I don't have, let me get one. I have one cut here. All right, here's a white, basic white. That is 4. I don't have any of my white cut. What is wrong with me? I'm going to get another white. I'll cut it for you. Goodness gracious. This is the first one that I did. I should have had this one done a long time ago. All right, let's bring our trimmer back in here. And we are going to cut 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. Okay. And then we are also going to cut 4 by 2 1/4. That other one that we had was 2 1/2 that we cut off. So this is going to be 2 1/4. All right, so that's going to go on there. So I do have the dimensions here. I have 2 3/4 by 4 for our designer paper. And this is coming from our Iconic Celebrations. Love that flat card. Good, Joan. I'm glad you know how you can use it. Oh, good. I'm glad that you can see how it's used, Denise. I'm going to be doing it with some masking tonight. All right. Then this I told you was 2 1/4 by 4. And then we have, I took a pecan pie square that was 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I cut it diagonally. And then I took a piece of the designer paper. So since this was 4 inches, there was 2 inches left. So this is 2 by 2, and I cut that diagonally. So I used one of them for my sample this morning, and here is the other one for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to make like a little pocket over here to tuck this card in that's going to be on the top. So we're going to be creating like a little area to tuck our card in. All right, so let's go ahead and do some stamping. I'm going to stamp these 2. Let's set the rest of this aside for now, and I'm going to stamp the envelope. All right, so the colors that I'm using, we're going to be using some Pool Party for our sky. We're going to be using some Garden Green for our grass and for the tops of our pumpkins. We're going to use some Cajun Craze for our tree, along with some crushed curry for our tree. I'm going to use pumpkin pie for the pumpkins. I'm going to use some pecan pie for the base of my trees and my fence. And then I took a white craft stamp pad. So when you get these from Stampin' Up, you end up, these come so that they're not filled. You get like a re-inker that you fill it with. So what I did is instead of putting the white on, I took some of the Memento ink filler or the ink re-inker, and I inked that up so that my Memento ink is always upside down. I usually store mine upside down, but the Memento ink has kind of like that felt, I think it's called, and sometimes you can have where it doesn't give you a really nice crisp image because it doesn't have this foam pad. So this has the foam pad, so you get a little bit nicer image. All right, let's hide that. Okay, so let's start with this right here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have the fence, which looks like this. I wanted to have that over here with some trees next to it, and I wanted the pumpkin sitting in front of it. So what I needed to do is I needed to stamp the pumpkins first because I want them in the front, and then I needed to mask them, put something over the top of them, and stamp my fence over the top of that so that I didn't stamp the fence right through the pumpkins. I'll show you what I mean by all of that. So I decided to use this set of, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pumpkins in there. And then they have these little, here are the little stem things on the top. So I'm going to start by stamping these. And this is one of those distinctive stamp sets. So when you're using a distinctive stamp set, you do not want your ink to be overly, you don't want your pad to be like really, really juicy because it doesn't give you as good of an image. So I already spread this out, so it should still be good, but I'm always going to, whoops, I got something on here, a hair or something, piece of paper. I'm always going to stamp a distinctive set on my scrap paper first to make sure that that looks okay. If it doesn't, and it looks like, ooh, that doesn't look very distinctive, what you can do, and I don't know what I did with my spoon. I think I brought it into the kitchen and cleaned it, and I don't think I brought it back. You could also use something like a bone folder. You could use a plastic spoon, the back of a plastic spoon. And basically what you want to do is, let me get an older bone folder if I can find one. Well, I found a spoon, but look at this. It had black on it from when I did my memento and it was still wet. Okay, now I've got that all over my hands. All right, I'm just going to go grab a spoon real quick. Sorry about that. Live TV, you know. All right, so what I'm going to do with my spoon is I'm just going to take the back of it and I'm going to lightly spread that ink from the center out to all the sides. Okay, and now when I ink this up, okay, I didn't have a whole lot of ink there before because I'd already done that. Do you store my stamp pads upside down? Good question, Joan. So the way Stampin' Up! Designs their stamp pads, when you flip the top over, it is upside down. So that ink is going to the surface of your stamp pad. But with our memento ink, let me bring one of those pads in. Here's a memento pad. That one just has a cover. So when I store this one, I do store it upside down. I also store my Versamark that way. I also store my, why am I blanking it here? My StazOn. The StazOn also. And I take dimensional and I add it to the cover so that that plastic cover stays on it. And then I just flip it upside down to store it. So these get stored this way. These get stored this way because they're already flipped. So where I added this black on, now I can store it this way because it already is upside down. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pumpkins and we're going to stamp them. Right about there. Hopefully my head wasn't in there. I'm sorry if it was. All right, then what I'm going to do, I've already done this. And what I do after I do it once is I store it in here. We have something that's called masking paper. You can use this or you can use a Post-it note. It doesn't really matter. But what you want to do is you want to stamp your image and you want to fussy cut around it. Okay, so I fussy cut around it. Now, normally when I fussy cut, I leave a little bit of a white edge around the outside of it. When you're doing it for masking, you don't want to do that because otherwise the image that you're stamping behind it, you will miss some of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right over the top of that. Okay, so I'm covering it up. And with this, I just want to let you know with this masking tape or masking paper, it's super sticky. So I sat and went like this. I was trying to get some of the stickiness off of it. You could put some of, you could like push it on your clothes for a little bit to take some of that off. Okay, but you don't want it to be super sticky because you don't want it to tear your paper when you pull it up. Okay, once I have that covered, I'm going to bring in my pecan pie and my fence. Okay, so now that doesn't look very good right now, right? Because it looks like you just stamped that fence right over your pumpkins. But when I remove that paper, Voila, now it looks like my pumpkins are sitting in front of my fence. Okay, let me do that again on the back for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the pumpkins. So whatever you want in the front, you're gonna stamp first. So I wanted my pumpkins in the front. So I'm going to stamp those first. I'm going to cover them. And again, when I cover them, when I make this mask, I want to make sure that I cut really close to the edge and don't leave a little white edge around the outside. Then I'm going to take my fence. I'm going to stamp that and then pull this off. And there are my pumpkins. Okay, I like the positioning of this one a little bit better. All right, so that is how we can make some things that look like they're different layers, one's in front of the other. Before I get rid of this, I'm going to stamp my tree right next to that. Okay, then for the tree, I'm going to do 2 of them in crushed curry. Okay, and crushed curry is a lot lighter than Cajun Craze, so I don't really have to clean this off at all when I go into Cajun Craze for the middle one. Okay, so we've got some fall trees going. We're going to put some stems on the top of our pumpkins. Whoops, that's the wrong one. What did I do with that one? Here it is. Oh, this is really hard to do with a camera on. I'm just going to put it down and stamp it. Oh, they're a little bit off. Let me see if I can get this one a little bit better. Because I could always stamp those trees over again. All right, that's a little bit better. Let me stamp my tree over. This is so much easier to do when I don't have to work around a camera. Right, and we'll do the Cajun Craze first this time because that's already on there. Bring in a chamois. Make sure it's clean because I'm using yellow. Just kind of a fun way to build a scene. There is like a little barn with a silo, single pumpkin, a littler fence you could put next to the barn, all kinds of different things that you can use. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some grass. Hi, Mary. And I'm going to use just a sponge dauber with this garden green. I'm going to put this back in my case so I can use it again. I just tape it right to the cover. And I'm going to take some of that off. And just kind of put a little bit of green grass. Now there is a really long thing here that you could use for that too. I liked how the sponging looked a little bit better, so I ended up sponging it. And then get rid of these. I'm going to use the pool party with a sponge dauber and give it a little bit of sky. Okay, so we have a little fall scene with our pumpkins, a little fence, and some fall trees. And then I'm going to, in this corner up here, I'm going to stamp our greeting, which this I thought would be a nice thinking of you card. Thanks for sharing, Mary. Okay, so there's our little fall scene that we created. Then on the inside piece, this is going to be shown a little bit. So over in the opposite corner, I'm going to take the other pumpkins. I can close, no, yeah, I can close this up. And we had a little bit bigger pumpkins, and just going to check to make sure those look okay. They do. We'll stamp those in this corner. And then those were the ones that I was trying to do before. Okay, so we've got these tops, and then we can take our green, not our blue, and just put a little bit of that underneath here too. So it kind of looks like they're sitting on some grass. All right, let's put some of these on the front as well. Let's do the bigger ones. And I thought this was a nice fall. Somebody's going through something. Just kind of bring that fall theme in. I think I got too much of the stamp on there. That's all right. We're just going to let it go. I think I did on there too. Sometimes they're not. I'm going to have to check to see. Sometimes the stamps can have too much in the center than what they're supposed to have. So I'll have to check that out. All right, now we're going to put this together. My hands are a little dirty. Let's see if I have a wipe here somewhere. I don't think I do. I think I used the last one. All right, so come back to our card here. We're going to go ahead and attach that to the inside. I'm just going to be very careful not to get any ink that's on my fingers on the card. All right, and then we will take our, now this had pumpkins on it. They're the wrong way, but you could use those as well. Okay, so this was the piece that I cut off of here, and that is just going to be layered on there. Okay, and then this is going to go like that. Now, I did see a really cute card. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Denise that said you looked at that stamp set, but you wanted to see some other things. If you have the truck stamp set along with the truck punch, I saw a really cute card that had some of these pumpkins in the back of the truck, and they had kind of like a little scene where you could kind of see the farm in the background, and then the truck was kind of in the corner, which was kind of cool. All right, so now we've got to make our corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little corner for this to be tucked under on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the designer paper. So again, the cardstock, the pecan pie was 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 that I cut diagonally, and the DSP was 2 by 2, and I cut that diagonally. And now I'm going to take my mini dimensionals because I want to make sure that it can sit, tuck underneath there. So I want to raise that up a little bit. So I'm just doing it along the edge so this part is open. Remove those. And then we'll just set this right in the corner. So we can tuck that right underneath there like that. Now the only thing that I thought that it could use was maybe some little birds or something. So I thought I'd bring out our gold birds, dragonflies and birds. And we'll put one of them over here. And we'll put one there. Let's put one more maybe over here by the tree. Okay, so there is our fun fold card with the little corner tuck. Now you can also do this card if you had something. I sat all day and I was going to do the sled because some people said they wanted to see that sled, but I've seen so many things on the internet with the sled that I thought, maybe what I need to do is do something with the fall thing because I haven't seen as much of that on the internet yet. So you could do it this way. If you had something that you needed to do vertically, you could put the corner here or you could put it over on this side. It doesn't really matter which side you would put the corner on, but there is a corner tuck card. And we've got our envelope to go with it. And our first card, I almost grabbed Kathy's. Here is our first card with the corner fold as well. So we've got two different corner folds, just a little bit different. One, we made a little area to tuck, not really fold, but to tuck. Here we just folded it back and created a way for us to see both sides of the paper and use the designer paper that way. So I thought they were kind of tied together, kind of different. One's just more of a layout, one's a fun fold, but they both have that little corner look that's a little bit different. So those are my cards for today. One other thing, let me come back to you here. I'm going to be in the dark now because I turned my overhead light off. I did want to remind you that just for like another couple of weeks, we have our earn to redeem. So anytime you place a $50 order, you get a $5 coupon that you can use in August. If you purchase the kit from me, that to-go class, if you do the wanna have it all, you do get 2 of those $5 coupons to use in August. It will automatically email to you so that you will have those to use in August as well. Also, if you add on either of the bundles, you'll get that as well. If you are on my team, do not buy the PDF and the video because you will be getting that for free. If you'd like to join my team, you could always do that and you would get it for free as well. That is a $99 and you get $125 worth of product with free shipping on it. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know that as well. Smaller corners if you do both corners. Yes, if you would want to do both corners, Denise, done vertically, you could put a corner on both ends, but make them smaller. Yeah, so instead of 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, you could maybe start with like 2 by 2 or 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then just make the DSP a 1/4 of an inch smaller than that, cut it in half, and you could put a corner in both sides. That is correct. Anything else that I missed? Yeah, Becky, both of the cards today were pretty easy. One's a little bit of a fun fold, but not really a hard fun fold. If you have anything that you've been wanting to see, let me know, and I'd be happy to try to do that for next week. I do plan to go live next week, Tuesday. I'm going to go back to 6 o'clock. I sat here for the last half hour going, I wish that I hadn't made this mistake. So I will be back at 6 o'clock next week. What's the price of the third option? Diane, it's $15. And you get all of the directions and the video for 5 cards and a gift card holder. So that's what the third option is. All right, I think that is all I have. If you wanted to know where you register for that, if you go to my Facebook page, I will also put a link in the description here on YouTube for those of you that aren't on Facebook. That'll give you the link to go to where you can register for that. So thank you guys so much. It was so fun to be back. I promise I'll be more on my A game next week. I will be back and kind of in a groove again. So I will see you again next week, Tuesday. I hope that you have a great week. Hope you can find some time to be creative. Thank you to all of you who have participated in the creative challenge. Make sure you check back on Facebook and see what everybody did. So have a good week. Bye-bye.